on this tree. Jackson, can you lean back just a little bit or come up here so they can try and see?
Oh my God.
So the tree is actually kind of taking over the collars at this point. But the last time my dad came up, sorry, he had his dog Bowie that he had a stone and we put it here for him. So we're going to put his stone. I don't know if you all saw it.
No. It's beautiful. Oh.
So we're going to put it right here with it.
I thought it was a collar.
We do the collars too.
But John didn't have a collar. He lost his collar.
Yeah, Adele's keeping that.
Yeah.
She trained him well.
He didn't have to have a collar.
But as you can see, this is the place he loved the most. Sorry.
I can see why.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all he would say is he wanted to be up here. And thank you for coming up and spending the time in the place that he loved. This morning, I had the most vivid dream of him talking to me here. But it was just so peaceful, and I really felt good about it. So, and he just wanted, it was weird because he just wanted to say thanks for everyone to come, and it just meant he just was happy. So, in the years, you know, the last few years have been tough for him, and I think that, you know, this is what he wanted. He didn't want to be not moving around the way he was. So that's why I thought that when I thought it was appropriate that we please say goodbye to him up here. Yeah, and I mean everything around this place meant so much. You know, climbing Dunderberg several times with him here, all the way to the top, right up the face. I mean, just the memories. Going up, hiking up when I was, what, 4 years old? 5 years old.
Yeah.
We hiked to the summit, as far as you can see, over the top and down the back side. And back there, we camped out in the stars in these sleeping bags that were not rated for the temperature. We woke up in the morning, and all the water around us was frozen, puddles and everything. But, you know, it's those memories that...
John says tonight is the meteor shower.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's
Persons peak.
Oh, wow.
Awesome.
That's
John.
the night. So it was all those years ago, but it was, and we just lay there because we had no tent, and the sky was falling. It was just incredible. Just, you know, multiple things all night long. And we were freezing, so we didn't go to sleep right away.
So you got to see the whole show.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I wore every article of clothing I had on, and I was still in the sleeping bag.
Yeah. So there'll be another one tonight?
Yeah,
Supposed to
he
be.
says it's tonight.
It's the peak.
It's a meteor shower.
Early morning.
Oh my gosh,
Early
I'm so
morning.
early morning.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What do you mean early in the morning? Like 1?
2, 3.
I've got to be sleeping.
Well, it was even earlier. You see a
Paul
lot.
will go out
You
and
don't
fill
see
up for you.
some usually because you know, as you're heading into the shower belt. There's some,
Okay, well, I'm a rock collector, and I collect rocks for memento occasion. And this is my John rock.
Oh, and that's a
Okay.
pretty one. Is that quartz?
No,
Of course, yeah. And so I'll put his name on it. And today with all of you.
Susan and I and my dad one time were up here with my Malamute. I don't know if any of you knew my Malamute, but he was a huge dog, and he had a lot of problems. He had hip dysplasia when he was young and had surgery, and later in his life he had eyes that didn't shrink down, so he couldn't see almost at all. But he still was this happy-go-lucky dog, and as long as he was on the trail, he was happy. Well, one day we decided to hike up, and we were going to go over the other side, and Mom was going to come around and meet us on the other valley back here. And so we went to the top, and we said, well, which way do we go, Dad? And he's like, well, there really isn't a trail over there, so we just literally went off-roading over the top of the saddle here. And we got a couple hundred yards into it, and Chinook just didn't like, he couldn't tell downhill if it was safe. And so at that point we were kind of committed because we were down already so far. So we we started trying to get, and there was this huge snowbank there, and so we all stopped and tried to think about it, and finally we said, well, we got to get down. And at this point, he was just going berserk, losing it. He just finally just laid down and sat, and so he was 120 pounds. So we wiggled him over to the snow bench or snow patch that went a long ways, and so we tried to. At that point, we said, well, we're just going to go for it and drag him down and ski down this section. And so that's what we did. And the dog was growling, and I thought he was going to kill us when we got to the bottom. But he was never so... All of us at the site, we looked at each other afterwards, and we thought, never again are we going to do this. But it was, you know, my dad would often let's just go this way, or go this way, and we just go explore that way, and I think that's what this place was so special, that you could do that and
not get too lost.
I knew this valley was here, and so if worse comes to worse, but I mean, I think back to when we were kids, and we just were turned loose here, and it was just an amazing time, and we'd go get horses, and they'd turn us loose on horses, and we'd be galloping around these hills and everything, and
Maybe
so,
this is where he got his creative inspiration.
I really do, and I remember growing up, you know, we'd come here for a week, and you always knew it was getting close to get time to go home, because Dad wasn't getting happy. He was not, because he didn't want to leave. This was his spot.
He'd pick a fight with me.
Do you remember the time we came with Brian Lamb?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And your father walked out of the tent and said, "Did you guys see that bear last night?" And I went, "We're going to a cabin." And everyone, no. I said, "This is the lawyer's son. We are going to a cabin." I remember that very well.
But I think he's climbed all the peaks.
Yeah.
It's sometime or other, all these peaks.
Well, he was so strong.
And they
That's so
they all
wild.
did.
Amazing.
Dan's climbed a few of them too.
Oh, yeah. Here, there,
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I still have that picture of your
Yeah.
mom and dad
Well,
on the old stagecoach.
Todd and Dan climbed Dunderberg, and there's a can up there with a book in it. You write your name in it.
Oh.
And years later, we were up here, and Todd was here, and he climbed, and it was the same day. It was,
Oh
I
my
think,
God.
August 8th or something, and your names were still there. I thought that was
funny.
great.
I remember taking one of those hikes all the way up to the summit, and then we went up over into the canyon over here. It was my dad and John and myself, and I don't know if somebody else would go with us. And there's no trail. I mean, there's a trail on the map.
But it's
You
hard
get
to
up
see.
there- Oh yeah, and you come down. There's Burrow Lake, and there's like a rock out in there. And so John got down there, and it's like, let's go out to the little island, and he jumps on in and quickly came back to shore because it was freezing cold.
Direct feed from the ice.
I know.
We got down to the bottom and got picked up, and oh man, the next day I'd never been so sore in my life.
When I was single, I went camping up the Yosemite, and we hiked in 3 miles up, backpacking with all our stuff.
That's what we're here for.
And we
It's
were
downhill.
going
We
to live off the land, fish. And so we were catching like this size and this like that. By 5:30 we said, forget it, we can't get it all.
We'll keep the little ones. Yeah.
It's a good spot.
I can remember that so well. And then I got up in the middle of the night so quietly thinking, oh, go find a place, go to the bathroom. And this guy, we were single. We were 2 girls, 2 guys, very nice guys. Just handed me the toilet paper. Thank you. I'm so embarrassed.
There is no modesty in the mountains.
I could have died.
I think it was that trip with Brian Lamb, and there were your R2, your 4,
Yeah.
Brian, and was there somebody else? There were 8 of them kids in it.
No, there
But it
was
was
no
your
one from
tent.
us.
You had a tent. He had a
Polish
tent.
We had the Polish Hilton,
Yeah,
excuse me,
yeah.
that wasn't a tent.
Oh, excuse me.
That was a
All
palace.
the kids were in your tent because it was long, and they all. And as I said, John, we heard the noise, and the kids had made cocoa, and they'd left the box of cocoa out. He licked every. That was absolutely clean. It looked like it had never been used.
It was
And
sterile.
that's all he found. But then John stepped out and shone the light on him, and the bear stood up. And it was a 600-pound bear. It was about 8 feet tall. And John jumped back in the tent and zipped down the zip.
Like that would help.
But the bear left and he went over and turned over a dumpster. It was a big bear.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Now you know why I went to a cabin.
Yes. And she didn't even see him.
But I was so worried if anything happened to
Oh,
Brian,
I know.
God, I would have been
I would have been in the cabin.
paying for the rest of
I
my
would have.
life.
Yeah, but her dad was a lawyer, and he was a very suing type lawyer.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know it's hot and getting probably warm up there, but this was just a special place for him. So, thank you for coming. So we wanted to put some of his ashes up here, and anyone that wants to, spread some out, feel free. To leave a lay here.
Yeah, I will at the end when we're done. Yeah.
Okay. Paul, you want to say something? Or just want to scatter?
Well, I didn't prepare anything, but I think it's fitting that we were here because John was here more than 50 years, and it's fitting that he should be here and remain here. I think it's fantastic, and I also thank you for all for coming. But that's, I really didn't think of anything.
That's fine.
I'm a basket case, so I'm busy talking on these things.
Why are the ashes so white?
His place.
Yeah.
It can be anywhere here. It's all good.
We're only going to scatter some of them.
We're gonna
Put
keep
him
some
with
of
the
them.
Milliken Monument
Oh, okay.
in Ontario with some of them.
Don't do all of this, honey.
Everyone breathe in now. Get a little
Yeah,
bit
get
of
a little bit
John.
of John. We'll all have his creativity, his kindness. No. Look at the dogs over there. Like the dogs, but the other dogs are there too.
Jim, you got the picture of the dog? Yeah. I'll show you. She's we got her picture. Thank you.
One into his face.
Dan, your shoe is getting untied.
Nope. Thank you.
I'm fine. I'm not going to sit down against because I have trouble getting up.
Joyce, are you okay?
I am okay. Yeah, it's a little wobbly.
You were rocking
A little
there. I was
wonky.
worried.
Well, there's a little. Yeah.
Run back up.
In the spring, this is all just seeping water. If you
Oh,
can
it
see.
is?
Yeah, that's why these look like
That's why-
puddles,
like
because they're
puddles.
literally puddles.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really just almost a
And
hillside bog.
wildflowers, it's just
And then it
gorgeous.
turns green. Does it
Yeah.
ever flower? Or?
Oh yeah, there's flowers and
Wildflowers
and things.
yeah.
And she knows every name.
Yeah, of course she does.
No, I know some of them. My mother knew everything.
Okay.
Yeah, when Gray went to outdoor, Ed, of course, he knew all the pine cones and all the things. And I said, Mom, there were people there that had never been to the mountains. Like this was a sin, right?
It was.
It was. How could they grow up?
Yeah.
And there were also kids that had never been to the beach.
In the
They live in Anaheim and they've never been to the beach, right? Yeah, I think the original collar is already absorbed into the tree.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're being absorbed right
Yeah.
now. Look at that. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that because it was, I think it was no, it would be Moonshadow, wasn't it? It was Moonshadow, that's it.
Moonshadow is where?
And I think it's completely absorbed in.
Yep.
Is that your first fish? Second. Oh, okay. And Alexa called.
You like sitting. It looks so good. When I came over yesterday.
Yeah, we got a few.
Thank you. Yeah. And Emma and Kate will come up every year and visit, right?
Everyone got it? Anybody else? All good.
In Ontario, there's a Milliken monument. And all my parents and my grandparents, they're all buried there. And I guess my brother is soon to be buried there. And I thought
Needs to be there too. Yes.
it needs to be a place where it's documented.
Nice thing
Are
about
they doing
Ashes.
anything at UCR?
I don't think so.
No?
They did a very nice article in the paper, and
But don't they do a plaque for anything
Um,
like that?
I don't know.
Because he was, you know, in my prison.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got his picture in the
Yeah.
room, and we have our tile in the front, you know, everything. But they did have a memorial for like the year for everybody,
Oh,
and
Do you want me to save this much, or do you want me to pour more out? Or?
however much you want.
It's leaking.
I think you've got a hole on the side here.
He's sneaking out on you.
Get away.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah.
More exploration.
Yeah.
She's had enough of this.
Yeah.
Got a closing, you might call it a ceremony, or you might not. Excuse me. It's
Big minute like that.
some music by Sarah Brightman and Andrea Bocelli, and it runs for about 4 minutes. And it's odd, you'll really enjoy it, but there's only 2 lines in English.
Yeah, time to say goodbye.
Yes, but they don't have to be in English. I think you'll get the feel of it. And I think the one thing that John was so good at doing was uniting people. Now, here we are again. You know? And I don't know, maybe we'll come up for an anniversary again sometime. Just do this again. And it'll go on. So it goes like this. I've got to do the end one, excuse me. No.
That's okay.
Starts howling.
I just want to sing along.
Yeah. Here, use this.
You didn't want to say goodbye, obviously.
And it's great because the two voices come together at the end. One, they just unified finish. You get a chance to hear that finally. And it's just as well because I would probably just roll down the hill.
So for those that want to hike, we're going to hike up to Three Frogs later. Those that don't, feel free to Mom, you're going to stay here, I think.
I'm not hiking.
And, but anyway, so
Go part of the way. Yeah.
we're going to, you know, do a fire later. And however, who can stay, who can't, you know, we're open to everything.
What are you writing, Kate?
Jackson, watch your fingers awfully close to the blade.
It's under, it's nice. The next lake is blue.
There you go.
It's beautiful. It's in a, you know, so it's really, really deep. In fact, for years they couldn't tell you how deep. That's where I saw the plane come in and open the doors and drop the fish in. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I
Where
told
the
people
nested
about
creature jumped up.
Yeah.
Pulled it down.
But people would say, they didn't do that. And then Hugh Hauser did a thing on it. And I said, okay, there's proof. Hugh Hauser did it. And then you go up and then switch back.
Jackson, not that way.
And it couldn't
Away from you.
Like it's like a little rabbit has only little mouse ears, and as the global warming is happening, they are disappearing because they need to be up in the
Got his way.
You go up another series of switchbacks, and there's three little lakes, which we call the frog lakes. There's always frogs in there. Always.
So that's not their fault.
I don't know. We've always called them that. I don't know if there's another name or not. I could look on the map. Maybe there is. And then there's moat that's off to the side. That's a whole different thing to get to.
I just heard thunder.
Me too.
Yeah.
And all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I wouldn't see a lot of them. From the first one.
One year we came up, and they had had
So
heavy
frustrated
snow,
last year.
and then it rained.
We had planned to come up here. I don't know if you guys all know this, but we had planned to come up here last year, and just a few days before we were to leave, my dad fell and had brain bleed, and so he was, even in the hospital, even in somewhat of an altered state, he was like, so we're still getting out and going to simulate. You know, never stopped until, you know, he finally realized it was worse than it was, but, you know, I know he wanted to get here one more time, so this is good to get him up here. Yeah. Not happy. Between that and being in the hospital for his 50th wedding anniversary, he was not, he's like, we're going home today, right? You know, just calling the doctor to say, come on, let me out of this place. So.
I'm panicking that they'll let him go. Because what am I going to do with him? Because he couldn't stand up, he couldn't do anything. Just a few more days. We can still go later. We can still go later. Oh, we even have a cloud to cool us down.
Yeah, that's why we celebrated our 49th wedding anniversary, in case we couldn't make it to 50.
Yeah.
That would be for medical reasons. Not for anything else.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, it's kind of different.
Yeah. Oh, no, we had a big party and everybody came and we
Thunderbird.
it was just rain.
You have had your picture taken, right? Yeah, it happened.
That's right. We had a very quiet dinner all by ourselves. The kids did call us. They remembered. With a little nudging, I think, from somebody. I don't know.
I think he's going to bring the...
Probably more.
Probably Lori, right?
For now and then come back a little later.
She's been such a trooper with Jeff. Oh my God.
What a time.
Thank God he was married to a nurse.
Yes.
Because she knows what's going on.
Well, and she knows what he should and shouldn't do.
Isn't that a nice piece of wood? Yeah. That could be a holder for your rock. Right in there. Somebody could look, your grandson's over there practicing here. I mean, he may be able to do that for you. Yeah.
This is very delicate.
She hears the thunder. It's not walking, you better get going. We get soaked in our teeth.
Oh boy.
I just heard the thunder.
Yeah, the storm so this is all, you know,
Yeah, on the way up here.
oh, you should see Larry's driftwood.
Oh, yeah.
He's more than I am, and then he polishes it. And it's just beautiful.
He makes it
I picked good stones. They're cheap. They're available.
They're ready-made.
They're carryable.
When we went to Corsica, I must have had 30 pounds of stone. And I had to reduce it to like 5 pounds. So hard to do. Yes,